The sky above Earth turned dark as a strange shadow moved across the clouds. People on the ground looked up and froze. A massive alien ship, shaped like a sharp black triangle, came down slowly from the sky. Birds scattered. Sirens screamed. The world knew they were not alone anymore. In orbit, hundreds of alien ships had gathered. They belonged to the Varnak Empire, a powerful and proud alien race. The Varnak had conquered many planets before. They believed they were the strongest, the smartest, and the most advanced species in the galaxy. They had studied Earth from far away and had seen humans fighting wars, destroying forests, and building strange machines. They thought humans were simple, slow, and soft. They called humans the crawling ones. To them, Earth was just another weak planet to control. Commander Vetrax, the leader of the invasion, stood tall inside the command ship. His silver armor shined under the blue lights of the control room. Around him, alien officers watched screens showing Earth's cities, forests, oceans, and mountains. Vetrax smiled. He thought it would be easy. "Prepare the landing team," he ordered. "Let us show these Earth creatures what true power looks like." Inside a smaller landing ship, 30 Varnak soldiers stood in perfect lines. They wore high-tech suits and carried weapons that could melt steel. Each soldier was trained from birth. They were confident. Many laughed, saying this mission would be boring. One of them said, "These humans will fall to their knees the moment they see us." They didn't know what was waiting for them. The ship landed in the center of a large open field near a human city. Tanks, helicopters, and human soldiers were already there, watching from a distance. Earth had picked up the alien signal and sent its best defense forces to meet them. The air was tense. No one spoke. Everyone waited. The door of the alien ship opened with a loud hiss. The first Varnak soldier stepped outside. And then something strange happened. The soldier took one step, then stopped. He trembled. His knees shook. The next step was slower. His face twisted in pain. The armor around his arms cracked. Suddenly, he fell to the ground like a heavy stone. Everyone froze. The second soldier stepped forward, trying to help, but he too collapsed. The third followed, then the fourth. One by one, the proud Varnak soldiers dropped to their knees, gasping, unable to move. Their legs refused to support them. Their arms shook like branches in the wind. Some screamed in confusion. Others just fell, unable to breathe. Commander Vetrax watched from inside the ship. "What is happening?" he shouted. "Why are they falling? Are they under attack?" "No, Commander," said one of the officers. "The humans haven't fired a single shot. It's the gravity. Earth's gravity is too strong." Vetrax's eyes widened. On their home planet, gravity was light and soft. They had never felt this kind of pressure. Earth was heavier than they expected. The air was thicker. Their bodies were not ready. Outside, the humans watched in silence. Some raised their guns, but their commander gave a hand signal. "Hold fire. Wait. Observe." A human general stepped forward, walking calmly toward the fallen aliens. His boots made soft sounds in the grass. Behind him, a translator drone floated, ready to speak in any language. The general stopped a few feet away from the Varnak commander, who was now crawling out of the ship, struggling to breathe. The drone translated the human's words into Varnak language. "Welcome to Earth," the general said. "You might want to sit down." Vetrax collapsed on one knee. He wanted to stand, to show strength, but his body betrayed him. He felt as if the planet itself was trying to crush him. "We studied your strength," the human continued. "But I think you forgot to study ours. This planet made us." The drone floated silently. Vetrax looked around. His soldiers were scattered like broken toys. The humans stood tall, holding weapons, calm and ready. Not a single human had moved in fear. Not one had fallen. Vetrax was not ready to give up. He pressed a button on his wrist, sending a silent message to the command ship above. "Send backup," he whispered. "Send heavy suits. Increase armor support. We underestimated the enemy." But no answer came. Up in orbit, something else was happening. The Varnak mothership had tried to drop more soldiers, but the same problem repeated. Every soldier who stepped into Earth's gravity fell. Their bones ached. Their hearts beat too fast. Some even lost consciousness. The engineers tried to adjust the suits, but it was too late. The data was clear. Earth was not a normal planet. Its gravity was brutal. It shaped its people to be strong without needing armor. In space, one officer said to his captain, "Sir, this world is dangerous. The humans are not weak. They are forged by pressure." On the ground, human scientists collected data on the fallen aliens. Some were taken to labs, not to be hurt, but to be studied. Humans wanted to understand how alien bodies reacted to Earth's environment. They didn't torture. They didn't kill. But they learned. And what they learned scared even them. The Varnak bodies could not survive long on Earth. Their muscles were not designed for the pull of this world. Their lungs struggled with the thick air. Their eyes hurt under the bright sunlight. Earth was killing them slowly, without a single weapon fired. Commander Vatrax sat in a holding cell inside a human base. He had been given water and food, but he couldn't touch it. His hands were too shaky. A human soldier entered the room, placed the tray on the table, and sat down across from him. "You okay?" the human asked. His voice was calm, not mocking. Vatrax didn't answer. "You guys thought we were weak," the soldier continued. "That we were slow and soft. But you forgot to ask why we're built like this." Vatrax looked up. His pride was broken. His army was broken. And yet, this human did not laugh at him. He just sat there, watching. "You want to know the truth," the soldier said, leaning forward. "You didn't lose to us. You lost to Earth." Outside the base, news spread fast. Across the globe, humans watched footage of the aliens falling under Earth's gravity. Children laughed. Soldiers cheered. Scientists smiled. But some were quiet. They knew this was just the beginning. In space, the Varnak fleet didn't leave. They were angry now, humiliated. They had never lost before. Their leaders wanted revenge. But how could they fight an enemy shaped by a world so powerful it crushed their best soldiers without lifting a finger? Inside the human base, the general stood in a war room, staring at a map filled with red alien symbols. He turned to his team and said, "This isn't over. They'll be back." A scientist nodded. "Next time, they'll come prepared. Stronger suits, more weapons." The general looked down, then smiled slightly. "Good," he said. "We'll show them what Earth is really made of." Far above the clouds, the stars shimmered, and somewhere out there, new ships were already on their way. But this time, Earth was ready. Commander Vatrax sat alone in a quiet, cold room. The walls were made of thick steel. A soft humming sound came from the lights above. He had been in many prisons before, on many planets. But this one felt different, not because of the walls, but because of what was outside those walls. Earth, a planet that looked beautiful, peaceful, but crushed his body every second he stayed on it. He tried to lift his arm. It moved slowly, like underwater. Even breathing felt like a fight. His bones hurt. His muscles burned. Every part of his body screamed for escape. But there was no escape from gravity. The humans had locked him in a special room, not to torture him, but to study how his body handled Earth's pull. In a room next to his, 4 more Varnak soldiers lay on beds. One of them had broken a rib just by coughing too hard. Another one had tried to stand and had passed out. They were warriors, proud, trained, fearless, but now they were helpless, brought low by an invisible enemy they never expected. Human scientists watched through glass windows. They took notes, studied blood samples, and measured heart rates. But they didn't hurt the Varnak. They gave them food, water, and even soft bedding. The humans were not cruel. They were curious. Vitrax didn't understand them. Why weren't they killing him? Why weren't they using him as a weapon or showing him off as a trophy? If the Varnak had captured humans, they would have done both. A door opened. 2 humans entered, one wearing a white lab coat, the other in military uniform. The scientist, a woman named Dr. Lin, placed a small box on the table in front of Vitrax. "This will help you breathe better," she said gently. Her voice was calm. Vitrax stared at the box. He didn't move. The military man, Sergeant Davis, stood with his arms crossed. "You don't have to take it," he said, "but you'll keep feeling like you're drowning." Vitrax didn't speak. His pride burned inside him, but his body was too weak to resist. Slowly, he took the mask from the box and placed it over his mouth and nose. Air flowed into his lungs. It helped. A little. Dr. Lin spoke again. "Your body wasn't made for this planet, but we can help you adapt." "Why?" Vitrax asked, his voice low and rough. "Why help your enemy?" Davis answered, "Because we don't need to prove anything. Earth already did that." That silence hung heavy in the room. Vitrax looked down. He had never been treated like this, not by his own kind, not by any enemy. It confused him, and deep inside, it scared him. Later that day, the Varnak prisoners were taken to a larger chamber. It was part of a research center. Cameras were everywhere. Robots floated above, scanning their bodies. The room had different gravity zones, some stronger, some weaker. The humans wanted to see how the Varnak reacted in each one. One soldier, Rekal, tried to walk in the lighter zone. He made it 5 steps before falling to his knees. His skin turned pale. His body shook. "It's not just the gravity," Dr. Lin told her team. "It's everything. The air, the pressure, the temperature. Earth isn't just heavier. It's harsher." Vitrax watched his men fall one by one. He felt something he hadn't felt in years. Helplessness. His warriors were dying without a fight. There was no enemy shooting at them. No bombs. No poison gas. Just a planet that didn't want them here. In another part of the facility, Sergeant Davis spoke with his commander. "They can't last long," he said. "Their bodies are giving up. I've seen one soldier's legs swell up like balloons." "What do you suggest?" the commander asked. "Give them a choice," Davis replied. "Let them try to train under Earth's gravity. See who survives." The commander raised an eyebrow. "You think they'll agree?" "They're soldiers. They hate being weak more than they hate us." The next morning, Vitrax and the others were gathered in a room with metal benches. A screen turned on. A human officer appeared. "You have a choice," the voice said. "Stay in your cells and die slowly, or train with us. Learn to live under Earth's gravity. If you succeed, we'll let you return home." The room went silent. Vitrax looked at his men. Some nodded. Others looked away. Then he stood up, slowly, painfully. "I will train." The others followed. That day, the gravity program began. It was brutal. The first test was walking 20 steps in full Earth gravity. Most failed. Some fainted. But every day, they tried again. Humans watched from behind glass walls. They saw the alien warriors sweat, fall, cry, and scream. But they also saw something else. The Varnak were changing. Slowly, their muscles adapted. Their lungs got stronger. Their bones started to hold the pressure. Vitrax became the strongest of them. After 2 weeks, he could jog 20 meters without falling. It was still hard, but it was progress. Sergeant Davis trained with them. He never mocked. He never laughed. He just pushed them. Again, he would say, "You think this is hard? This is how human kids grow up. You want to walk among us? Earn it." One night, Vitrax and Davis sat on the roof of the training center, watching the stars. "You were right," Vitrax said. "About what?" Davis asked. Earth is the enemy. Not you. Not your people. Your world makes you strong. Davis looked up at the moon. We don't get to be weak. Earth doesn't allow it. Suddenly, an alarm rang. Red lights flashed. A human officer ran into the training yard. New alien ship detected, he shouted. It's not Varnak. Unknown origin. It's coming fast. Everyone froze. Is it a rescue? One Varnak asked. Vitrax looked at the sky. A strange fear filled his chest. No, he said slowly. It's something worse. In the command center, screens lit up with strange symbols. A new species had entered Earth's orbit. The ship was huge, spiked like a sea urchin, glowing with green energy. The humans and Varnak didn't know it yet, but Earth was about to become the center of something much bigger, a war between civilizations. And this time, it wasn't just gravity that would decide the winner. It would be who could survive the weight of war. The next morning began with sirens. The Varnak soldiers, now part of Earth's gravity training program, rushed to their positions. Their bodies still ached from yesterday's drills. Some could barely move. Others were stronger now, still weak by human standards, but no longer helpless. Commander Vitrax stood at the front of the group, his breathing steady, his legs firm. He was not the same alien who had fallen out of the ship days ago. Line up, Sergeant Davis shouted. His voice cut through the noise like a blade. Today is not about surviving. It's about becoming something new. The unknown alien ship was still in orbit. It hadn't attacked yet, but Earth's military knew something was coming. And they were preparing fast. Human and Varnak scientists worked together, trying to understand the new threat. No one had seen a ship like that before. It had no clear engines, no known language, no signals, just silence and power. But on the ground, the training continued. The Varnak were learning to move under Earth's gravity. Every day, they pushed harder, climbing stairs, carrying weights, running across the field, falling, then standing again. The human soldiers trained beside them, not to show off, but to help. And something strange began to happen. Respect. It started small. A human handed water to a Varnak after a tough run. Another gave advice on how to stretch sore muscles. One day, a human soldier saw a Varnak fall during training. Instead of laughing, he pulled him up and said, "Try again, brother." Commander Vitrax saw it all. He didn't understand it at first. On his planet, failure was shame. Weakness was punished. But here, humans did the opposite. They helped the weak become strong. That idea stuck in his mind. That afternoon, the group entered the gravity dome, a special building where Earth's gravity could be increased or decreased by machine. It was time for the final test of the week, double gravity. For humans, it was very hard. For Varnak, it was nearly impossible. "Step inside," said Sergeant Davis. "Only the brave stay on Earth. Let's see who wants to stay." One by one, they walked in. The moment they entered, the pressure hit them. Legs bent, shoulders dropped. Even some of the humans grunted, but no one left. Vitrax took slow steps forward. Each movement felt like lifting a mountain. His body screamed, but he didn't stop. His soldiers followed behind him. Then something happened. The unknown alien ship in orbit sent a signal. All the screens in the dome went dark. Lights flickered. Then a single message appeared in red letters. "We are Earth belongs to US now. Resistance means extinction." No one spoke for a moment. Then Sergeant Davis turned to the group. "Looks like training's over. Time to use what you've learned." The next 2 days were chaos. Earth's defense forces rushed into position. The Drak ship moved closer. Small drones flew down from it, black, fast, sharp like knives. They attacked satellites, power grids, and defense towers. But Earth wasn't alone anymore. The Varnak, still sore and limping, suited up beside human soldiers. "We fight with you." Vitrax said. The humans nodded. Let's show them what real gravity feels like. The battle began at night. The sky glowed with fire. The Drakh drones were fast and deadly. They moved like shadows, striking and vanishing. But they were light. Too light. The Varnak knew now what Earth's gravity could do, and they used it. Vitrax led a team to trap a drone swarm inside a mountain cave. They lured them in, then collapsed the rocks. Under Earth's weight, the drones were crushed in seconds. In the city, human Varnak teams fought together. One soldier used his heavy armor to pin a drone to the ground, while a Varnak fired his plasma gun straight into its core. They didn't always win. People died. Buildings fell, but they fought together. And then, the humans brought out their secret, a gravity cannon. It had been in testing for years. Too dangerous to use, too unstable. But now, they had no choice. The cannon could fire a pulse of gravity strong enough to pull a drone swarm from the sky. When the first shot was fired, it was like thunder. A wave of pressure spread across the battlefield. Drones dropped like rain. Varnak and humans fell to one knee, stunned by the force. But the Drakh were not ready for it. Their ships twisted. Their weapons shook. For the first time, they retreated. The humans cheered. The Varnak roared in victory. But the battle wasn't over. The main Drakh ship started to descend. It was coming to land. Everyone looked up. "Tomorrow," said Vitrax, his voice calm, "we fight not just for Earth. We fight for gravity itself." The soldiers nodded. They were no longer human and alien. They were warriors of Earth. The Drakh mothership began its descent over Earth's largest human base in the Western Hemisphere. The sky turned dark as the giant alien ship blocked out the sun. People across the planet watched in silence. It was the size of a mountain, covered in strange moving plates and glowing lines that pulsed like veins. The air around it seemed to bend. Birds fell from the sky. Winds shifted. Even the clouds moved away from it, like the planet itself was afraid. Inside Earth's defense center, alarms rang nonstop. Generals barked orders. Engineers checked the gravity cannon's core again and again. Satellites locked onto the Drakh ship, but no one knew where to hit. It had no weak spots, no engine vents, no bridge, no obvious weapons. It floated like a ghost, but carried the weight of death. Commander Vitrax and Sergeant Davis stood together on the command balcony. "This is it," Davis said. "Either we break them, or they break Earth." Vitrax didn't blink. "Then we do not let them land." But it was too late. The ship touched down. Slowly, heavily. The ground cracked. Trees flattened. Mountains nearby shook like jelly. Gravity itself twisted. Soldiers fell to their knees. Some fainted. Others screamed in pain. The pressure wasn't natural. It came from the ship, an artificial gravity field designed to crush all resistance. "This is their weapon," Dr. Lin whispered. "They use gravity like a hammer." For the first time, Earth was at a disadvantage. The Drakh had turned humanity's greatest strength into a trap. Inside the enemy ship, Drakh commanders watched Earth's pain through screens. They did not speak. Their faces were hidden by silver masks. They were not angry, not joyful, just cold. To them, this was just another planet to claim, another step in their long path of conquest. But they had made one mistake. They thought only they could control gravity. Sergeant Davis activated the gravity cannon for one last mission. The energy core was unstable, but they had no other choice. If it exploded, it would level half the continent. But if it worked, it could cancel the Drakh's field. "We hit them in the heart," Davis said. "One shot. That's all we need." Commander Vitrax stepped forward. "Let me do it." "You sure?" Davis asked. "This is a one-way trip." Vitrax looked at the screen showing his injured soldiers. "They gave me a second chance. I won't waste it." The team prepared the cannon and loaded it onto a massive armored vehicle. Vitrax climbed inside, his armor reinforced, his weapon charged. 2 human drivers joined him. They all knew the risks. The vehicle roared across the broken land, heading straight toward the Drakh ship. Drones flew down to stop them. Turrets opened fire, but air support from human jets kept them busy. Varnak warriors fired from hilltops, clearing a path with plasma blasts. Then the ship's gravity field intensified. The vehicle slowed. Its tires bent. The metal body groaned. But it didn't stop. Inside, Vitrax was bleeding from his ears. His bones felt like they were being crushed. The drivers could barely breathe. Just a little more. One of them gasped. The vehicle reached the firing zone. Vitrax aimed the cannon. The ship's belly opened. A swarm of Drakh soldiers flew down, floating, not walking, as if gravity didn't matter to them. But Earth would remind them. With a loud scream, Vitrax pulled the trigger. The cannon fired. A massive wave of gravity surged outward like a tsunami. The ground cracked. Air shimmered. The Drakh soldiers fell mid-flight. The swarm crashed into each other. The ship groaned. Its plates twisted. The gravity fields inside it clashed with Earth's force and the cannon's blast. Then it happened. The ship's own gravity core broke. It didn't explode. It collapsed. The entire ship sank into itself, folding like paper. It shrunk, pulled by its own artificial field, until it became a ball of twisted metal and silence. The Drakh were defeated, not by lasers, not by missiles, by gravity, by Earth, by humans, by a warrior who chose to fight under the weight of a world that was never his. Vitrax didn't survive the collapse. His body was found under the wreckage. His hands still on the cannon, his eyes closed, his face calm. A hero. The Varnak honored him with a new title, the one who stood on heavy ground. Humans built a statue of him beside Sergeant Davis, who had led the defense. 2 warriors from different worlds, standing together forever in steel. After the war, Earth was no longer just a planet. It became a symbol, a place where the strongest fell, and the brave stood tall. And across the galaxy, a new message was whispered in fear. Never fight humans, on their own ground. The war was over, but the world had changed. Earth had stood strong against a force that no one had ever seen before. It wasn't just the weapons or the military strategy. It was something deeper. It was the power of a planet. And more importantly, it was the spirit of its people. Months after the Drakh invasion, Earth began to rebuild. The broken cities were repaired. The lands that had been scared by alien ships were healed. But the lessons of the war stayed with everyone, human and alien alike. Gravity had been the true weapon, but it wasn't just the force that crushed the invaders. It was the strength it gave the humans and their allies. Commander Vitrax's death had marked the end of the Varnak's resistance to Earth's gravity. His final act had saved countless lives, and his name became famous throughout the galaxy. The Varnak, once proud and powerful, came to understand the importance of Earth's gravity in ways they never could have imagined. And the humans, they were proud, but they didn't boast. They never had to. They simply kept living their lives, knowing that Earth had shown its strength to the universe. It wasn't just a place for humans to live. It was a place where survival, determination, and unity ruled. As the years passed, Earth's military became one of the most respected in the galaxy. They didn't rely on advanced technology or alien weapons. They relied on their planet's natural power, its gravity, its strength. They trained warriors, not just in combat, but in survival. And they taught the galaxy that no matter how strong an enemy was, Earth's gravity would always be their greatest ally. Sergeant Davis, now a legend in his own right, had become the symbol of Earth's strength. He spent years traveling the galaxy, teaching others what they had learned. He spoke of unity, of the power of Earth's gravity, and of the Varnak warrior who had stood beside him. Davis often told the story of Vitrax, the soldier who had chosen to fight under Earth's gravity, even though it was the one thing that could destroy him. And through his words, a new alliance began to form. Varnak soldiers, once enemies, now trained with humans. They learned Earth's ways, and in turn, they shared their knowledge of space travel, technology, and combat. Over time, the humans and the Varnak formed a bond stronger than any treaty. It wasn't built on fear or respect. It was built on understanding. They had both experienced the power of gravity, and through that shared hardship, they had become more than just allies. But it wasn't just the humans and Varnak who learned from Earth's victory. Other alien species, once skeptical of Earth's power, began to visit, curious to see if the stories were true. They'd brought their own technology and weaponry, but they always left Earth with one thing in mind: the understanding that no matter how advanced their species was, no matter how many stars they had conquered, Earth was still a force to be reckoned with. And so, as the years passed, Earth's legacy grew. There were no more invasions, no more threats that could challenge the planet's strength. Earth had become a symbol of hope for the entire galaxy, a place where the weak could become strong, where the helpless could find power, and where unity could defeat even the strongest enemies. The humans had done what no one thought was possible. They had tamed the wildest of beasts, gravity itself, and in doing so, they had changed the fate of the galaxy. On Earth, the memorial to Commander Vetrax and Sergeant Davis stood in the center of the capital, a monument of steel and stone, with two figures, one human, one Varnak, standing side by side. Their arms were raised, looking toward the sky, as if watching for any new threat. It was a reminder to the galaxy that Earth was ready. No matter what came, Earth would never be weak again. And as the stars twinkled above, a new message echoed across the universe, carried on the winds of space. Earth is not a planet to conquer. It is a place to be remembered. And no one dares to challenge its gravity. The galaxy was no longer the same. After the fall of the Drakh, and with Earth's gravity as its weapon, the entire cosmos began to change. No longer did the alien species view humans as weak or primitive. Now they saw them as powerful, a force that could no longer be ignored. Earth's legacy had become the foundation of a new age, an age where cooperation, strength, and unity reigned. A few years had passed since the Drakh's defeat, but the consequences of that war were still being felt. Earth was no longer just a small, isolated planet. It was a symbol, a beacon for all those who sought peace, strength, and understanding. The humans' relationship with the Varnak had blossomed into something far more than just an alliance. It had turned into a new federation, a federation that included many races that had once been enemies or distant, uninterested neighbors. The Varnak people had changed. They were no longer the cold, distant warriors that had first arrived on Earth. They were now partners in protecting the galaxy. Commander Vetrax's sacrifice had united their hearts with humans. His name was spoken with reverence not only on Earth, but across dozens of planets, a reminder of what true courage and sacrifice looked like. Earth's new leadership, with Sergeant Davis, now a high-ranking general, worked closely with Varnak leaders to ensure that the alliances forged in battle would last. Davis had become a legend in his own right, but he never let the fame get to his head. He knew that the true battle had only just begun. The galaxy had become more interconnected than ever before. Trade routes were established between Earth and planets once thought too far away. Human technology had spread like wildfire, enhancing the lives of other species. But it was Earth's gravity that remained their most powerful asset. Every new species that came to visit Earth was greeted with the same warning: be careful how you approach our planet. Our gravity is not something to take lightly. But not everyone was content with this new peace. A new threat began to stir in the corners of the galaxy. There were rumors of a new empire rising, one that had begun to view Earth's influence as a problem. It wasn't the Drakh this time. The Drakh had been shattered, their forces scattered across the stars, their once proud species now rebuilding in small, isolated colonies. No, this new threat was something different. It was a coalition of rogue planets, races that had once dominated the galaxy, but had lost their grip when Earth's gravity changed the game. These rogue planets were led by the Zanari, a race known for their advanced technology and ruthless nature. They had been observing Earth's rise, and they did not like what they saw. The Zanari believed in one truth: power was the right of the strongest. They had held the galaxy in a grip for centuries, manipulating weaker species to maintain their dominance. But Earth's rise, along with its ability to use gravity as a weapon, was a direct challenge to their rule. The Zanari did not believe in unity. They believed in conquest, and they would stop at nothing to crush the idea that an insignificant planet like Earth could stand alongside the greatest civilizations of the galaxy. General Davis, now a seasoned leader, knew this war would be different. It wouldn't just be a battle for survival. It would be a fight for the future of the galaxy itself. At a gathering of Allied leaders, Davis spoke to his fellow generals, including Varnak representatives. "They'll come," Davis said, his voice steady. "They'll try to take what we've built, but they'll fail, just like the Drakh. We know our strength. We know what we're capable of. And together, we'll stand against them." The room was silent for a moment. Then, one by one, the leaders stood. The Varnak, the humans, and even a few representatives from distant star systems nodded in agreement. Earth had become more than just a planet. It had become a symbol of what could be accomplished when different races, different species, worked together toward a common goal. The rogue planets would come, and they would learn what Earth's gravity could do. But this time, Earth wasn't alone. The alliance was stronger than ever. General Davis turned to the screen in front of him, which displayed the outline of the Zanari fleet approaching the galaxy's edge. "We have a chance to do more than just defend. We can make sure that no one ever tries to conquer this world again. We'll take the fight to them." The message was clear. Earth had been pushed to the edge, had fought and bled for its place in the universe. But this time, it wasn't just about surviving. This time, it was about ensuring that Earth's legacy was not just a tale of victory. It was a new beginning. This was just the beginning. A new chapter in the galaxy's story was about to unfold, and Earth's warriors, from every corner of the planet, would rise again. They had shown the universe that humanity, when united, was a force that could not be beaten. As the Zanari fleet moved closer, humanity, the Varnak, and their allies prepared for the coming storm. It would be a fight like no other. And this time, the galaxy would learn a new lesson. Never underestimate the strength of a planet, and never ever underestimate the gravity of Earth.